Hello everybody, let me quickly introduce you all to my YouTube. My name is Louise Jean, but I'm also known as PhenomenaLewis. I just started sculpting with Nomad Sculpt, which is this 3D rendering program, around October of 2021. I'm still learning how to use the program. I'm still growing as far as my art goes while using this program, but I also wanted to impart my wisdom with you all, and as I'm growing, you guys can grow too. I did create a video showing you what the different tools are on Nomad Sculpt. You can just go click out of this video to go see that first if you want to, or if not and you just want to go right into creating something and a random object in this video with me, then totally up to you. But I do recommend going to watch my last video on what the different tools are and what you can use them for. So what's going to happen with this video is I am going to move my camera down so that you can look at my iPad as I am creating on Nomad. This is what Nomad looks like. Let me just, this right here, this icon right here, that's Nomad. So that's the program that you will be downloading when you go to the App Store or the Google Play Store. But that being said, let's get into the video. When you open up a new project on Nomad Sculpt, it does start you off with a sphere, and because I do plan to recreate this Purell hand sanitizer bottle, I will start off with a different shape. But if you want to, you can start off with a sphere. It is pretty easy to start with a sphere, but for me, I'm going to switch it off to a different object. So to start, I'm going to click on the little family tree looking like icon next to the file, and let's see, for this Purell, I'm going to start off with a box shape. Click off gizmo, and I'm going to go back to the family looking like tree and deselect. All right, let's cancel that. Click on the eye next to sphere just to remove it. Validate. So click on the validate, the little green check mark for it to actually be a shape in your space. Now we are on clay, but I'm just going to move this around just so that I can see the shape of it, and I'm going to look at this here. So what I'm going to do is take my trim tool. So this is the trim tool, so I'm going to select trim and I'm going to click on rectangle. So rectangle, and I'm going to go down like this just to bring it down more and make it more like a rectangular shape like the Purell bottle. I'm going to turn it around to the side though, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it even, oh, let's not flip it. I'm going to make it thinner, so just like this. I'm going to chip away at the sides so that it is like this. You will notice something like this. You can always just undo to make it go away because that's just the inside of the shape. But for me, I'm going to still just click on the rectangle shape and chip away at it to make it smaller, or thinner, I should say. All right, so now that I have this overall shape, what I'm going to do is just start to sculpt what I see with this shape here. So there is an indentation at the very bottom, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the move object just to see. If not, I'm going to use the flatten tool, but right now I'm going to click on the move object and I'm going to create that indentation at the bottom. All right, and then I'm gonna go in with the smoothing tool, smooth it out a little bit. Lower the size. All right, so now that we have that, I'm going to now cut the sides of this to make it like a shoulder. I'm going to go to my trusty trim, and I'm going to use lasso for this to create the shoulder. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a line and cut it off and go like this. Now we have that, and I'm going to do the same thing with the sides, except I'm going to click on rectangle and I'm going to chip away a little bit of it. go to this side, and I'm going to take, actually should take a little bit more. I'm going to take a little bit more of the side. So now I'm going to add the neck portion of the bottle. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on insert, and let's see, it's more like a cylinder shape, so I'm going to click on cylinder, and we're going to add it on top. So just click mirror so it could be off. I'm going to change the size of it, cancel. I'm going to click on transform just so that I can change the rotation of this around. Let's see. All right, now I'm going to move it more to the center. Oh, change the rotation, change the width, move it over, change the rotation, change the rotation. All right, change the sizing of this thing. Let's see if I have to move it more to the center. I'm going to move it more to the center, bring this down. All right, so we have the neck now. Cool. And so now I'm just going to click on validate to make sure that it adds it on. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to add the cap portion. So this will take a while to do, but we're going to go back into insert. So click on the tool called insert, and we're going to add another cylinder shape. So click on cylinder and then put it on here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, click on transform just to move this more. Now I'm going to change the size of it, move it more to be centered, move it down a little too, move it over, and I'm going to angle it more. Oop. All right, and I'm going to create a hole. So now it's going to have a hole in it. I'm going to angle it just a little bit like this. Actually, no, let me not do that. So undo, and I'm going to bring in the width just a little bit more. And now I'm going to bring it downwards. Let's see, like up to here. And then I'm going to add another shape on top of it to create the other shapes that are around here. I might not add all of the shapes, probably just one other one, because of time I want to keep this short. So we're going to click on validate to make sure that it adds, and then now we're going to go back to insert. So click on the tool called insert, and we're going to add another cylinder. So just click on it to add the cylinder. Now we're just going to click on transform to make sure that we have it exactly where we want it before we validate it. You can still validate and move the object around. It's just going to be a whole lot harder to get what you want it where you want it to be in the sizing. You can always do it with Gizmo, but I prefer to do it now before I do validate. So we're going to move the object a little bit more, bring it back centered, go like this. I'm going to click on the hole now just to make it easier for me to see. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this object more. And now we're going to click on rotate just to make sure that the angle of it is straight. All right, angle it a little bit more this way so it looks straight. Okay, it's looking a little straight. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this here, going to angle it like this, move this down a little bit. Actually, I'm going to angle like this. Cool, cool. All right, and so we have it like this. I am going to make the circle a little bit more inwards. All right, perfect. And I think that this width works. All right, so now I'm going to click on validate. So now we're going to add the final top portion of the shape. So click insert, and this shape is like a cylinder. The top portion is like a cylinder, but also it's not. It looks like a discombobulated cone. So we're going to click on the cone shape, and we're going to add the cone shape. So now I'm going to make sure that I transform this, move it to be more centered. It's looking centered so far. It's not looking straight though. So what we're going to do is go to the front perspective, move it back, tilt it back a little bit so it can look straight. Perfect. Now we're going to move it more to be centered. And it looks good. Now I'm going to bring it in some, bring it in more. Okay, looks like we're gonna have to move it. To be more centered. Awesome, we have that. Now I'm just going to bring, oops, nope, not that. Bring the shape down a little bit, like right here. Okay. Awesome. Now we're going to click on validate. And what we're going to do is go to the move brush, and I'm going to have to rotate this around a little bit before I actually do, just so I can, you know, make sure that I'm mentally prepared to do this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the move brush, lower the intensity just a little bit, and oh, go back. I'm just going to dip it. All right, I'm going to lower it some to look like this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of remove this shape, or should I say flatten this shape out to sort of make it more manageable. Click cancel, cancel. That only pops up if you haven't given your piece a title. All right, so I'm going to flatten it some more. And I'm going to use the smooth option to smoothen it out. Smoothen it out. Smooth. All right, so now I'm going to get into its face, and I'm going to use my drag tool to drag it out. Shrink the size to bring this back in. Bring this more out and up. Do it with the other side too. Sort of make it more even. All right, bring this up more. I'm going to flatten it a little bit. Flatten it just a little bit. Smoothen it out just a little bit. Move this up some. All right, I'm going to use the move tool, using the move tool just to sort of make things a little bit more leveled. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing here as well. Do 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 do. Smoothing it out. Clicking on the move tool to make things a little bit more even. Make things a little bit more even. Smoothing it out. Take the flatten tool, flatten this top portion down a little bit. Now go to smooth and smoothen it. Take the flatten tool, flatten this front port a little bit and smoothen it out. And now go to the top and flatten it a little bit. Flatten, 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 flatten. Flatten. All right, now I'm going to smoothen it out. Smoothen it out. All right, and now go to the top and smoothen it out. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm still going to click on the move tool, and I'm just going to try and make everything, every little detail look the same. All right, take the smoothing, smoothen it all so that it can be uniform. All right, okay. It doesn't look too much like it, but we can fix that. I'm going to go back to the move tool now and change the radius a little bit. Cancel. All right, use the clay tool just to select this instead. Use the clay tool just to bring it out more. Use the clay tool at the top as well. Now I'm going to smoothen it out, so click on the smooth tool, smoothen this portion out. Use the move tool to move this to be a little bit more symmetrical to the eyes, and smoothen it out some more. Smooth, smooth. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, oh, wait, hold on, smooth. Okay. All right, so we're done smoothing things out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the little dot that's in the center of this. So now what I'm going to do is click on split, actually not split, trim. And I'm going to click on the ellipse tool, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit and place that hole in right there. I'm going to use the smooth tool just to smoothen it out a little bit on the sides. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in this portion right here. I'm going to add some clay, another piece of clay. So click on insert and just a random sphere. Transform, change the scale size. Move it. All right, click on validate. Now I'm going to click on that when I go to this family tree sign as well as the cone, and I'm going to voxel merge them together. click on the smoothing tool and I'm going to smoothen it out to make it invisible. And of course, I do like to be a little bit accurate, so I'm going to use the move tool and I'm going to, oops, click normal. I'm going to move this to expand it out a little bit more. So that it could be a little bit more accurate. Click on the smooth tool, smoothen it out on the sides. All right. Okay, so now what I am going to do is add some color. So I'm going to paint this bottom portion blue. So I'm going to click on the paint tool and I'm going to click on the big paintbrush tool over here and click on the circle. And if you don't want to choose any of the pre-selected colors and you want to make your own, click right here for the colors, so next to the numbers and stuff, and then click on the color that you want to paint your bottle. So because I did not merge all of the objects together, I can click on paint all for it to paint only that one selected object. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make this translucent. So because I selected this, I'm going to go on this circular object shape right here, and I'm going to click on refraction. So refraction makes it transparent. Now you can make it a little more transparent or less transparent, so that's all up to you and how much it absorbs. So if you want to do that, you can also change the scale of it as well. So that's up to you. I'm going to do the same with this object shape right here. I'm going to paint it the same color, so paint all. Go back to this tool over here and click on refraction to make it just the same. And oop, cancel. Actually, I want to add the little tube on the inside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the tube that comes out in the center of the hand sanitizer bottle. So I'm going to click on tube, click on curve. So click on curve instead of path, and what we're going to do is draw the tube. So we're going to move the tube to fit in here. We're going to make the tube a little small. Curve the tool some. Spleen, so make it a little bit more curvy. All right, so we're gonna do that. Let me see how the box, making it refraction, how it looks. All right, go back to the tube and I'm going to raise this portion up, move it over, add another. All right, cool. So we have the tube and I'm going to click on validate. Wait, actually go back. I'm going to add a hole to it. Not that it's necessary, not that it's going to be seen, but yeah, I'm going to add a hole in there and then click validate. All right, so now we can go into coloring and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to select this shape right here. I'm going to paint it blue again. So paint all. Sorry about my, everything just overheating. And everything, that wasn't my intention, but it happened. So that's what we're going to do with this. I didn't draw the neck as I was trying to hurry and rush and put everything in. So this portion right here, the neck, I probably should. Actually, I will. Hold on. So I'm going to click on everything but the box. And I'm going to click on, I don't know if I should move. Actually, not yet. Not yet. I'm going to paint these first. So, cylinder, click off gizmo, go on paint, go to paint, add this so that it's added just in case I need it back again. White, we're going to make it a little more metallic, even though it's not, and then click paint all. Do the same with this one. Go back here to the big paintbrush, click on paint all, go back here and select this, go to the big paintbrush and click paint all. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these and add them together. So this, and this. Let's see. And I'm going to simple merge them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on here, select transform, and I'm going to move it up. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off the bottom portion of this though. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go into insert. I'm just going to do this really quickly. It's everything that we already did, so just so you can see it better. Hold on, let me change the color of the environment. All right, so it's everything we already did, but I'm just going to add the neck portion. All right, so now I'm going to go back into the cone and I'm going to actually rotate it around because I noticed that this is uneven and I'm not a fan of that. So I'm going to go back here and make it a little bit more even. Hold on. Perfect. Now I'm going to go into transform and I'm going to move it down until I am satisfied. Move it down, moving it down, yeah. I'm going to click on this only because I want it to be a little, oops, undo. I'm going to trim it down. Sorry, click on symmetry. All right, trim it down. Okay, perfect. See the neck, and I'm going to click on smooth, lower the intensity, and just smooth out the sides. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to click on the tube. Where's the tube? Which one is the tube? Okay, tube, and I'm going to click on transform. I'm just going to move it up a little bit. Okay. So now we have that. Oof. All right. So now what I'm going to do is change the background to white. I'm going to go back into these options, these boxes right here. And I'm just going to make it, yeah, a little bit more. Yep. Too glossy. Okay, and then for this one too, just going to a little bit glossy. I'm going to select the tube and I'm going to paint it white. Paint all. Actually, hold on. Make it a little bit more. Okay, paint all. All right, and now if we select everything, this is what our hand sanitizer looks like. Whoop, whoop. Let me save this. Hold on. Save. Yes. Okay. Whew. All right, so this is what it looks like. Thank you for staying through. I hope that you can leave a comment with any questions, any tips as well. Though I am doing this tutorial video, I'm still not well versed in Nomad Sculpt. I'm still also learning just the same as you all are. So this is the end result of what we were sculpting today, and I hope you had fun if you were actually sculpting alongside with me. If not, that's totally okay. I hope that you can all follow me on my Instagram and TikTok as well as Twitter. I'm not too much on Twitter, but I'm trying to get back onto it. But they're all the same. It's PhenomenaLewis, so follow me there, say hey. Let me know what you think of this video, if it was at all helpful, if it wasn't that helpful, and what I can do to improve to help you learn this program better. And